Good morning and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the fact that the black woman, or the black womb, has given birth to every nation. And now we have every nation, every race, and every group of people that have contributed to the downfall of the black woman. Now I'm going to explain what I mean by all of this. Please pardon all of the noise in the background. We have animals that live on the property here, and they are very noisy at times, but that is to be expected. Anyway, the black woman is basically responsible for every nation and every group of people that exist on this planet in terms of bringing them forth out of her womb. Some of you won't understand what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the origins of every race, including the white race, including the Chinese race, all of the Asian groups, and all of the Latinos. The black woman's womb brought forth all of these races, even Arabs. Okay? And if you all have followed the Whited Out series on our ministry channel, Watchman Reports, then you'll understand some of the historical elements attached to the fact that the black woman has given birth to every racial group on the planet. Now, even if you want to understand why I'm not saying the black man, because it's far deeper than what science has taught, okay? It is far deeper, and even in some scientific groups or communities, they too understand that not every group of people sprung from the original man. The seed line of mankind was infiltrated. Everyone should know this by now, okay? And I'm not trying to stir up anything. I'm just trying to cause you to research and study. But back to the original topic of the black woman giving birth to every racial group on the planet. Every group has contributed to her downfall. And of course, you know that I'm not speaking of every last black woman. I'm speaking in general. And when I speak of the downfall, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about one specific downfall. I'm even talking about how the black woman is treated, okay? How the black woman is perceived, how she is disrespected. And I'm even talking about how the black woman has adapted to certain behaviors that are not acceptable. Okay, but what has happened over time is there is such a delinquency in behavior of human beings, period. Someone always lands on the bottom of all of that. Now, many have believed that the black man has landed on the bottom of all of that. Now, although the black man is very close to the bottom of how humanity treats others, he is not on the very bottom. The black woman is. And I know many of you will argue up and down that that is not the truth. Well, of course, when you have people who live in the U.S. and their minds only think within their region, they're going to say that based on certain actions that are taken against black men, or the black man. But I'm referring to worldwide. I'm not talking about just here in the U.S., but worldwide. If you look the world over, and if you are honest with yourself, you will see how the black woman has bared the brunt of all of the disrespect that humanity has to offer. And guess who has taken up with all of these other groups against the black woman? That's right, the black man. Okay? Again, I'm not speaking on any regional level. So for those of you who want to get in the comment section and refer to those things, I'm talking a worldwide treatment of the black woman puts her at the very bottom of every group. And you say to yourself, how could that happen to the woman or the wound who has birthed every racial group that there is? For those of you who want to understand the scientific elements of all of this and why I'm saying this, don't think about what you were taught in school. Okay? These other racial groups would not have landed here on planet Earth if it wasn't for the wound of the black woman. Okay? It is what it is, whether you want to accept it or not. It is the black woman's wound who has birthed every nation. Every nation. There is not one group of people on the planet that is here without the black woman's womb. No other group of women can say that their womb birthed every nation. Of course, once you finally got here, of course, you create after your own kind, unless you stray away into another person's region or another person's racial group and decide to procreate with them. But I'm speaking of the origins of every group started with the black woman and whatever male or infiltrated male that decided to infiltrate the black moon. As we know, worldwide, a long time ago, when the human bloodline was infiltrated, it came through infiltration of the black woman's womb, and they have gone all over the planet, even till this day, doing the same thing. When you go over into Africa, you have European males who will go over there in their military services, and they will have their way with black women. And you have villages of black women who have produced children. And I'm not talking about through marriage or consensual relationships, but you have groups of or villages of women in Africa who have children by European males who came over there and did what they wanted to do, had their way, treated these women the way they wanted to treat them, left their womb filled. After they used them as a sperm dump, their wombs were filled with offspring or children that did not look like the rest of the people of the village. Now, these uncomfortable topics make some of you say, why do you bring up these things, and why are we talking about this, and why is this important? So many of these things are so very important, so much so to where you can't even imagine what has taken place as a result of it. The whole human landscape has changed because of what has taken place worldwide. And then for those of you who think these are uncomfortable subjects, this is because you sit in your comfortable world, your comfortable box, and this is all you want to deal with. But think of the women who, till this day, have to deal with the consequences of being violated. I'm talking about women in the regions of Africa. Now, when I say every group has contributed to the downfall of the black woman, let me give you this bit of information. Now, although many of those encounters were non-consensual, where the black woman was violated and she had no choice in the matter, even when it came to giving birth to these children, she was expected to love and care for and cradle and comfort and raise these children. How do you think all of these racial groups survived? Because the black woman, historically, when she gave birth to all of the offspring that you see present here on earth today, she nurtured her offspring regardless to how it got here. Okay? And I'm talking about way back thousands of years ago, even when the angels came in unto women and did the same thing. Black women. Now, today what we see happening, however, because of a system that has been created worldwide, a diabolical system, a treacherous system, because of what have taken place worldwide. You now have black women who do consent. You will have them tricked and wooed into making decisions that they wouldn't have historically made. Because women have been thrust into poverty, and I'm speaking of women on the continent of Africa right now, thrust into poverty, impossible situations of survival, choices that have been made because of the way they've been forced to live. You have these women who now will look at the offers of these European men who will come over there with a few dollars and a few gifts and will have their way with these women by way of bribery, money, and gifts. And these women say, yes, because this will feed my family for a few days. Because get this, these men, they don't pay a whole lot. But for that woman, it's a big deal. Now, there is a mirroring story in terms of that when it comes to men. In certain regions of the world, you will have black men who the same thing is happening to them, where European women will fly their behinds all the way across the water just so they can enjoy the pleasure of being with a black man. Again, why am I talking about this? This is because these are uncomfortable things that need to be spoken of so that we can understand why certain things have taken place and why certain things continue to take place on this planet. It is what it is. The disrespect that we see for our people worldwide, it stems from a lot of different things, and it goes way back. It didn't just start now. It's been going on for a very long time. And it only goes from bad to worse. It goes from bad to worse because we don't like to face the music of all of this. We don't like to deal with the truth of all of this. Black women, in order to recover from everything that we have had to endure, and I have talked about this so many times before in the past, where we've had to endure watching our men, our children, our families being torn to pieces, both physically and spiritually, gutted from the inside out, tortured, maimed, destroyed. We've watched all of this. And then a lot of people want to pretend like they don't understand why some black women have been broken mentally. I said some. Even in all of that, the Most High has given us a strength unimaginable. And I would love to see my sisters recover, those of you who have gone down into the gutters of the disrespect that has been handed to us. Some of you willingly go down into the gutters of all of this, and you wallow there, and you dwell there, and you live there. You sacrifice your children, your family, and your sanity just to remain there because that's the only place you feel safe. But it's time to rise up out of that pit and that gutter of disparity, of anguish, of suffering and pain. Don't contribute to your own downfall by succumbing to all of that's been given to us or dealt to us. When you look at the immoral nature that a lot of black women are starting to take on because of what society has done, it is very discouraging. I'm talking about in the U.S. and abroad. Some areas is worse than others. But we don't have to give in to this. We don't have to allow this ruthless treatment to define who we are as black women. It will never define us. But guess what? It will never define us fully. But a lot of our women are giving a big push and support to this defining us by allowing others who care not for us to inflict their wickedness upon our mentality, upon the way we behave, You don't have to give in to this crap, because we are better than that. We are the mothers of all of humanity. Whether people want to accept it or not, it is what it is. Back in the day, when the first two humans came on the planet, it was a black man and a black woman who gave birth to the first humans, or produced the first humans after them. And from there, it went on and it went on. And then the human bloodline or seed line was infiltrated at some point. That is a historical and a biblical fact and a scientific fact, in which I'm not going to get into in this video, because that's not what I'm trying to talk about. This is why I want to refer you to the Whited Out series, so that you can understand so many things that are not being talked about in public school. We've been fed a bunch of bull, a bunch of lies, a bunch of deceit to make people feel comfortable with humanity. But there's no comfort in a lie. No real comfort, should I say. Some people will find a lot of comfort in a lie. But if we are truly honest with ourselves, we would want to know the truth. Black women, we have got to do better, regardless to what we've had to endure. We have got to do better. We have been given this. This is who we are, the mothers of all humanity. The black wound has produced every group on the planet. If you trace back the roots of all of these mixed race people, and even the white race, you will trace their mothers back to a black woman. But yet she is the most disrespected and dishonored person on the planet, even by her own black man. This is true. It is what it is. We've got to rise above this. I have a book that I published years ago. I haven't been talking about it a lot lately, but I think it's time to revisit some of the topics in this book, because the black woman has been treated so low, has been dealt with so treacherously, that the fact that we still remain is a testimony of the strength that we have. And it's also a testimony to how durable we are. And I would love to see us bounce back naturally, spiritually, and even physically. Because even on a natural and a physical level, many have been destroyed because we have been tampered with in a way that no other woman has. Medical experimentations, just so much. A whole book. I can write a whole volume 2 on the book that I produced, that I authored, Woman, Thou Art Bound. A whole part 2. As a matter of fact, a whole movie can be produced, in which that is something that I would love to do at some point. But these things take time, and life at this point is one of those things that we have got to focus on survival. And so you do what you can when you can, when opportunity arises. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video right now. It's really early, and there's a lot of work to be done. When you live on a farm, it is what it is. Even if you don't live on a farm, living is a lot of work. In order to survive, you've got to think outside of the box. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and at some point revisit some of what I've been talking about on a deeper level, as I talk about the contents of my book, Woman, Thou Art Bound. But until then, let's redirect our minds and our focus and our goals to a higher level. With that, I am out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.